Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. Each stock within the Zacks Rank Buy universe is chosen based on how well it matches criteria comprising the four main investing styles. Once again, those are aggressive growth, growth in income, momentum, and value. And today, we talk about some growth and income stocks with Alex Kolb, our growth and income stock analyst at Zacks.com. And you're starting today's conversation with Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers Incorporated, RBA, the ticker symbol. Now, this is a new one to the group. I've never heard you talk about this before.
Yeah, it's a little. I haven't talked about it in the past because in terms of market cap, it's a little smaller, and these days with the market being where it is, I'll be honest, it's tough to find large cap companies that are doing really well. So I've kind of resorted to some companies that have a little bit of a smaller market cap. But I saw a lot of interesting things in this one. It's a different kind of an auctioneer. They cater to the used construction equipment transportation segment.
Okay, because I already saw everybody out in the audience just kind of perking up, but maybe eBay had competition here.
Yeah,
but I guess not.
No, it's completely different. It's an industrial type of auctioneer, if you will.
Okay.
And great fundamentals, growth and income here, of course. They recently announced a record-breaking quarter in terms of earnings and revenues and things like that. Adjusted earnings per share came in at 37 cents. That was above the year prior, 25 cents, and it exceeded the consensus estimate by 19%. They mentioned that they've been seeing a lot of bidders and more sellers come into their business, to their line of business. Mm-hmm. They've been seeing that over the past, and they saw that trend in the first 6 months of the year. So there's growth here, obviously, both fundamental and just in terms of, like I said, bidders and sellers. There's also a dividend, with this being a growth and income pick.
Okay.
It declared a dividend of 9 cents per share that was paid out in September 12th. That dividend translated into a yield of 1.7, well above the industry average. That in this industry offers very little in terms of income.
So do we know is this an online auctioneer, or do they actually physically go and auction at a location? Do we know that?
No, it's more of a physical. They may have an online access, but it's certainly not like eBay, where they're mostly dependent on their online business. There are actual bidders and sellers face to face type of thing, auctioning or buying used equipment for their production, for their construction, like I said.
Okay. Another company that you want to profile, and this is something that I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in, Cash America International, CSH, the ticker symbol. Now, not just a company that hands out cash.
No.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah, but they take something in exchange.
Right.
They operate pawn shops, but they go beyond that. They do offer what are called pawn loans, which is basically you bring in some sort of product, some sort of equipment, some possessions for collateral. Mm-hmm. They offer those type of loans, cash advances, cash checking services, almost kind of like a currency exchange type of thing, but also obviously a pawn shop as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of growth here as well. Fundamental growth like with the rest of these companies that I discussed, but there's also growth here through acquisitions. They recently announced that they're going to acquire 80% of 100 different pawn shops in Mexico. So it's a chain in Mexico of pawn shops that they're buying 80% of.
Do they operate in the States?
They are. They're in U.S. They're in U.S. and now expanding into Mexico, but predominantly in the U.S. Yes, and they are also their pawn shops are like franchise chains, a chain type of thing. So there is growth that way through the acquisition. There's also fundamental growth here as well. Their quarterly earnings came in at 67 cents per share. That was above the 43 cents that they earned the year before, and that exceeded the consensus estimate by 6%.
All right. Massey Energy Company, MEE, the ticker symbol, is another one on your list. I know it's been talked about before, but I don't know if it's been talked about in your space or not.
If I did speak about it before, it was some time ago. I've been kind of, with energy being somewhat of a wild card. Sometimes I take a pick from that area. Sometimes I kind of stay away. This past week, I liked what I saw with Massey. It is the fourth largest coal company in the U.S. in terms of revenue, of coal revenue. They recently acquired a coal mine in West Virginia. This is a good acquisition because they're expecting production out of this immediately with very low startup costs. So it sounds like it was a good acquisition for them. Their fundamentals are strong. They had second quarter revenue of $710.3 million. That topped the year prior, $516.2 million. Fundamentals are obviously signaling growth. There's also income here. They declared a dividend of 5 cents per share. that is payable on October 14th to shareholders of record. It just passed. It was September 30th. That dividend translates into a yield of 0.7. It's about even with its industry. Its industry is yielding about 0.8 right now.
All right, and then finally, McDonald's Corporation, MCD, the ticker symbol. Now, this is an interesting growth and income pick, especially in this type of an economy.
Yeah.
Where's the growth? Where's the income?
Growth is fundamental here and technical as well. Fundamental just in terms of earnings and sales, McDonald's has been doing really well. I'm really impressed with McDonald's in terms of technical growth, both over the long run and in the short term. Over the long run, over the last year or so, their share price is pretty much even, especially with what we've had going on in the last few weeks, maybe almost a month really. However, if you look at the major averages, you'll see them dip into the negative territory, well below 10% loss. Whereas, again, McDonald's is just at 0, which is outperforming the broader market. So, again, growth on both fronts, and, of course, McDonald's pays a dividend as well, and it has a competitive dividend yield. Its yield is at 2.4%, which, again, the industry here is offering very little in terms of income.
Well, industry average is 2.8.
No, that is the return ROE.
Oh, that's the ROE.
Yeah. Actually, I take that back. That is the net margin. That's the profit margin of 2.8. Okay. And I might mention McDonald's net profit margin is 19.2, also well above the industry.
Right. So just for clarification purposes, when you say technical growth, what does that mean exactly?
Share price, the chart, it's momentum, technical momentum. Its share price is pretty much where it was a year ago, whereas the major averages are in negative territory, so it is outperforming the market.
All right. Do you or does anybody in your household own any of these stocks?
No.
Thanks, Alex. Earnings estimate revisions are the most powerful force impacting stock prices, and the Zacks rank takes advantage of changes in estimates to help investors become more profitable. Each day on Zacks.com, Zacks rank buy stocks for the various investment strategies are spotlighted. You can see them right on the homepage, upper right-hand corner, and you can access more on these stocks in text form and others by clicking on the discipline of your choice, the area of investing of your choice, aggressive growth, momentum, any of those categories. With Alex Kolb, I'm Terry Ruffalo.